Good morning, welcome everybody. We're here at Infocom 2017 with NEC Display Solutions on their booth 1600. Delighted to have with me today Rich Ventura, who's not only the DSF chairman, the Digital Signage Federation chairman, but a VP Business Development of NEC. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome to our booth.
Thank you. Well, thank you for hosting us on our booth. When you come along, guys, we've got a lovely little booth. It's on a little pedestal, all set up. We've got a 2.5mm LED behind us,
yep,
with a Stuart film screen on one side and plane on the other side, so you can see the differences. Do you want to explain a little bit about the Stuart film screen before we start?
Yeah, so what we did was, one of the things we've talked a lot with our partners about is LEDs going in more and more broadcast space. Mm-hmm. And one of the problems we've seen was with LED, you get moire and you get that really fuzziness over it. So what Stuart has done with the technology they came out with, it helps fix that. So now we can put a direct view LED wall on broadcast, and you're not seeing all that fuzziness, that moire to it. It's a nice cleanness to it. Do
they make them to measure, the Stuart film screen guys, or do they come in standard sizes? How does it work?
It's made to measure.
Is it?
So, and what's really cool about this technology also is if someone can't afford to say put a 2.5mm wall and say they want to put a 4 or a 6, it helps compensate that as well. So it's really a really unique technology. At first when we looked at it, we're like, we don't know what's going on. But then you get a camera on it and you're like, okay, this makes 100%. So I mean, as you watch on the video, you'll see such a difference on each side. Yeah,
well, we certainly noticed a difference when we set up yesterday. And the other thing we couldn't believe was the wall was only 2.5. When we tried to make a guess, we thought it was like 1.2 or 1.5. It's a very good quality wall.
Yep. Yeah, we've got a I think it's a 1.25 or 1.4 on the other side of the booth. That's running 4K HDR content, and it's amazing. It just pops. So we've got, I think all said and done, we've got 3 large LED walls in the booth, and then we've also got samples of all the different pixel pitches so people can see them from a distance throughout the booth. So we're pretty excited about the focus that we're doing around direct view LED.
Is this a standard size booth for you at this event, or have you gone a little bit bigger this year?
Nope. Infocom, we're always this size. Okay. DSC, we're about half the size. But Infocom, we're always a 60x80, and we're always in the same spot when we're in Orlando, right next to Crestron, and then when we're in Vegas, we are generally in 1 or 2 different spots.
Right. One of the things that we like about NEC Display Solutions when we come to the different events is that you're one of the only brands that has some form of cohesion between, you sort of start off the year at ISE, then you have the DSE, then of course you have your London showcases, then you've got Infocom, and then you've got at the end of the year, well towards the end of the year, the New York Digital Signage Showcase. And what's nice for us, being based in pretty much London, was that we get to see all your executives. So your executives from the US come to London and come to Amsterdam, and your executives from Europe, Munich and things, come over here. So we actually get to see all the same old people, and you seem to be working really well together and having a sort of global brand, which is nice.
It is. You know, that's one of the great things about NEC Display is that we do work really well with our sister companies all over the world. I was bummed this year because I didn't get to go to London because I was down in New Orleans at OAAA, learning a lot about the out-of-home space. But a lot of the feedback I got from everybody else was it was really good cohesion between our organizations. You know, you saw the executives talking. We have the partners are seeing that, which is really important because we got all these global partners. They're seeing the same message coming from us in Europe,
for sure,
and in the US, and then our global customers are seeing that too.
So how many partners have you got here? It's a big number, isn't it?
It's like around 45 to 48 partners throughout here, and that's everything from mount companies, software companies, media players, some amazing content creation companies here. We kind of pushed the envelope again this year with some of the content we're doing, with a lot of the interactivity we've done. I mean, it's really, really great. When we call up the partners and they say, hey, do you want to be part of Infocom? It's not a let me think about it. It is, yeah, how many spots do I get? And how quick can I get you the stuff?
Well, what's nice on the stand, we're looking across here at some of the transportation and restaurant solutions, is you've got little notices on every single stand saying who your partners are, which is really nice. So they get a great deal of brand equity and product placement on the stand.
Yeah, we started that at New York Showcase last year. First time ever doing that.
Not seen it before anywhere else either.
We put it on every one of the screens there, and the partners absolutely loved it. Because you got to remember, at New York Showcase, we had 65 partners there. And I mean, you have so many people going on, you really want to know what everyone was doing, right?
Yeah.
So we started with that, and then what you'll also notice in the booth, in a couple different spots, we have partner screens. So we'll pop up transportation, shows all the logos of the partners in the transportation spot. So very partner-centric and vertical-centric booth.
Right. Yeah, the vertical centric is always something we see from you. It's always solutions you're talking about, whether it be QSR or transport, retail, flight, whatever else. But the sense I get from this stand this time is you're very focusing on collaborative solutions. That's a big thing, isn't it?
That's a huge growing space in this market. You look at huddle rooms alone, the very small huddle rooms. There's over 25 million huddle rooms in the US. Think about that number, 25 million. If I could put a screen in every one of those, I could retire next week, right? So you have that. Then you've got, everyone wants to collaborate either on their phones, on their iPads, or laptops.
Yep.
We want to engage more, right? So we have a lot of focus around that. So from a collaboration perspective, we're doing everything from a very entry level point with this little multi-presenter stick. Then you get into what we're doing with some of the Mosaic Hub, and then you get into our Think Hub, which is really high-end collaboration products.
Now, the one thing that people won't miss when they come to your stand is your cave.
Yeah.
So tell us about the cave.
So we have this great partnership with a company called Hollow 9, and the owner of Hollow 9 is a gentleman by the name of John 9. I know you're talking to John later. John called me, it had to have been about 5 months ago, and he goes, I have this great idea for a customer of mine. I go, what's going on? He goes, well, I'm doing something for Ericsson at World Mobile Congress. And so I'm like, okay, tell me what you're looking. He goes, I have this idea of making a virtual cave. And I'm like, John, what do you mean? He goes, well, he started to describe to me, he goes, you know, John, I need to come out to California next week. Let's meet, show me what you're talking about. So I walk in and he's got this whole thing cardboarded out, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I'm still not getting it. And then he starts showing me images and videos. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And so if you look in our space, it's really taking media to a totally different level, right? So as you walk in, we have 3 projectors that are stacked, projecting onto a special surface made by Draper. It's actually a metal surface with special coating. So the projectors are hitting, and the reason we did stack is no matter what angle you come from, where you're standing on it, all you're seeing is shadows. We're not blocking out anything.
Okay.
Then we have directional audio coming out from Brown Innovations. So we got a special audio just for the front area.
Right.
And this content that John did on the outside syncs in with what's inside.
Okay.
As you enter the cave, the audio completely changes. And now we're surrounded by sharks, or we're surrounded by mountains, or we're doing a flyover of Mars.
Okay.
It's really an immersive experience. It's taking the idea of VR, as everyone keeps talking about VR. Well, VR should never be limited just to headsets, right? We're now taking VR and we're putting you into a room that can surround you. While this may be a small one, now imagine we take this to even a bigger scale. Then we start adding maybe even LEDs on the floor. We can do so many different things with it. It's really an immersive experience, and that's part of what we're trying to do this whole booth is, whether it's collaboration or retail, we're putting you into that environment and allow you to truly understand how that product will work in your space.
Now the cave is pretty much in the center of the NEC stand, so it'll take 7 minutes of your time, I think, if you want to experience the whole thing.
Yeah, it's about 7 minutes and 8 seconds, I believe, is what John cut it down to. This original cut was 15 minutes long. We're like, John, nope, we got to cut this down a bit.
You'd be having queues out the door if that happened, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. You'll watch people walk in, and they're standing on the projection and they're looking down, and then they're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Then they step into the cave and like, oh, wait a second, the audio changed. And then they're stepping back out. They're stepping back in. So it's really interesting watching how people are engaging with the space.
Yeah. Well, we're talking to John 9 in about an hour, so we can get much more information from him. So just to finish up now, New York Digital Signage Week, you guys were one of the founders of the week 5 years ago now, I think.
Well, NEC's been doing something there for over 25 years now.
You have, but the New York Digital Signage Week, when we got together with the other events, was pretty much 5 years ago. That's October the 30th to November the 3rd.
Yes.
It falls on, I'll try to pronounce this properly in an American, Halloween. So tell us your plans for New York Digital Signage Week just very quickly.
So as everyone knows, Halloween in New York is ridiculously crazy. It's like a national holiday. There's like zombie crawls. It's absolutely crazy. So what we're doing this year, what we decided is, normally we'll do a VIP event and then we have meetings all day, blah, blah. So what we're doing this year is Tuesday night, we're going to have a VIP party.
Okay, that's October the 31st.
Yep, exactly, Halloween night. So you can kind of get an idea what might be the theme. Maybe, maybe not. And then all day Wednesday, we're going to have open house, education session, and then we'll do another event that evening.
Okay.
And then Thursday.
Is it the same location as last year?
Yes, same exact location.
Okay.
Stir, I keep forgetting what it's called. It's an amazing location,
yes,
though.
It is. Down near the Yotel, and between the Yotel and the Yavitz Center.
Yep, exactly. Then on Thursday, we're going to do half a day, some more sessions, stuff like that. And then what we've also done is we're sponsoring SCGD.
Right.
So they're going to actually bring part of their tour through our event.
That's good.
And then we're a sponsor on Friday, and I know I'm speaking on some stuff as well.
Yeah. The SCGD is the Society for Experiential Graphic Designers. They've been an integral part of the week as well for the last 4 or 5 years. And they do 2 days of events. They do tours and a very good conference on one of the days. Good. Rich, it's been very nice to have you.
Thank you very much
indeed. Good to see you.